This is for Black women and anybody that wants the myths surrounding the California wildfires debunked. Over the last few days, we have seen Karen Bass, the Black mayor of Los Angeles, be used as a scapegoat and dubbed as a DEI hire. The very first critique will be that she had cut the Los Angeles Fire Department by $20 million. Of course, this is from the same people that don't know how government works or understand that most government operations, especially in disasters, are done so through mutual aid and among many departments. They won't tell you that the Los Angeles Fire Department was completely funded for everything that had to do with fighting fires. The number one calls that the Los Angeles Fire Department goes out to are crisis calls and paramedic calls. So while that was cut by $20 million, some of those funds were allocated to an emergency paramedic training program to offer them ambulances, paramedics, and additional staff. They were given an additional $2.5 million after they requested special equipment from lessons learned after a fire broke out under the Santa Monica Freeway. Additionally, $50 million was awarded to an alternative response program that goes to specific communities so that they can address their specific concerns and how to address them within their community. A cut to a budget is essentially just less money given to that thing than in a previous year. It's important to understand that the availability of COVID funds actually inflated the years before, and the budget is very consistent with Los Angeles's needs. Los Angeles cut spending across the board. This was due to a drop in revenue. This is actually very fiscal conservative policy. I find it very interesting that the far right, which is constantly accusing California of being wasteful and frivolous with spending, is criticizing them for running the type of budget that good leadership does. A criticism that you will hear from both the left and right is that money that could have gone to firefighting actually went to the police department, which did actually see an expansion in its budget. I find this particularly interesting because the right has gone on a blitzkrieg attack, attacking California for smash and grab and high crime and needles all over the place, and stating that they don't fund their police department well enough. And I don't know who you think helps the fire department fight fires, but it's the police department. Additionally, she has come under scrutiny for spending too much money on climate change and expanding the budget to address the homeless crisis. Well, I'm not sure what event you think causes these fires, and I'm not sure what you think it's called when your house burns down and you don't have a home, but it's homeless. This is when the far right will say, then why was she traveling to Ghana? Well, not traveling during a natural disaster as a political leader would be a new position for conservatives, because I will remind you that Ted Cruz jet set straight out of Texas when it was without power and freezing, leaving his family pet alone in his house. When the waters were rising in South Dakota and people were losing their home, Kristi Noem jet set off to Tennessee to raise money for Donald Trump. A key difference here is that they actually left during an active disaster, not before one that they could have never predicted. So traveling isn't the operative word. I think that it's Ghana, and I think we know why. The need for a black or brown scapegoat in every single crisis in this country is obvious. The need to call somebody a DEI hire even though they're elected, so by definition that does not make sense, is very clear. We saw the exact same thing in Baltimore. We all watched in real time as a large ship the size of a small shopping mall smashed into a bridge, and we had to spend 2 weeks watching conservative talking heads wonder what happened to the bridge and pin it on the mayor. The reality is half of this country just cannot stand to see a qualified black person in any level of power. That is why Harris lost, and on that day I made a commitment to do something good every day as I normally would, and something good for the exhausted black women and the white people that did not show up like they should have that day. And one of the things I'm going to do is stick up for more people in these positions and highlight the hypocrisy. When I saw the press conference with Mayor Bass and she wasn't answering questions, I initially thought to myself, that's off, but she didn't look remorseful. After digging into the Los Angeles budget, I realized that she just wasn't fucking with them. She was doing what so many black community builders on this app have told us to do. You don't have to meet them where they are. You don't have to answer if you condemn the actions of Hamas on October 7th. You don't have to answer the question, what is a woman? When they're being dumb, don't fuck with them. Because now, in hindsight, knowing what I know and seeing how she just did not engage, I was like, hell yeah.